Bienvenidos a Soy Violento, Su Macabro Podcast. Yo soy Ali.
Y yo soy Dee.
Y hoy Dee nos contará de un caso que sucedió en Hermosillo, Sonora.
Femicide isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides behind smiles, behind promises, behind someone you thought you could trust. Margarita believed she was securing a future for her daughters, but instead, she unknowingly signed their death sentence. This was not a random act of violence. It was premeditated, personal, and rooted in control. A man she trusted with her life turned out to be the one to take it from her and them. This is the femicide of Margarita, Meredith, Medellín, and Karla.
Advertencia: la información de este caso puede ser desencadenante para algunos. Tenga en cuenta que algunos de estos casos pueden involucrar menores de edad, abuso, violación o violencia. Escuchen con precaución.
Warning: the information on this case can be triggering to some. Please be advised that some of these cases may involve children, abuse, rape, and violence. Listen with caution.
Fue una imagen horrorosa, una imagen dolorosa, la verdad nos hizo llorar. Una imagen que no podíamos asimilar, el que una niña estuviera abrazando a su hermana, el horror que pudieron haber sentido, porque en una de ellas se notaba el horror. Yo quería abrazarlas, quería que sintieran que estábamos ahí, ¿no? Que estábamos ahí, que ya las habíamos rescatado.
Ya yo no me quiero ir de aquí. La gemela decía, no me quiero quedar contigo.
On July 4th, 2025, Cecilia received an anonymous call about a possible body dumping near the Highway 36 in Hermosillo, Sonora. At first, she didn't think much about it. Her search group was already planning on doing an outing on Sunday morning. So they could go to the location and find, their route into finding anything during that area. But when a second call came through, something didn't sit right. Her gut told her they couldn't wait. As the leader of Las Buscadoras por la Paz Sonora, a collective and mostly mothers searching for their missing children across Sonora and different parts of Mexico, Cecilia decided to act immediately. The women were told to search about halfway down Highway 36, the road connecting Hermosillo and Bahia de Quino. When they arrived, they weren't prepared for what they would find. There, lying close together, were two small bodies in pajamas, each with a gunshot wound to the head. And beneath them was a third little girl, also in pajamas, and shot as well. The older girls had been hugging their youngest sister and protecting her from the horrors that were going on. What is more devastating about this whole situation is the horror in their face. You can tell that they were terrified of whatever was happening to them. The women were devastated. Even the police officers that arrived to the scene could not hold back their tears. Who could do something so much monstrosities to these three little girls? Speaking to the press, Cecilia Delgado said, quote, "We found so many bodies, men, women, but finding those three little girls was terrible. It's something you just can't understand. Why is there so much evil?" After the heartbreaking discovery, the collective immediately contacted authorities. When the officers arrived, they began to comb through missing persons reports, hoping to identify these three little girls and find whoever was responsible. But no reports matched the missing girls. No one had reported these three little girls missing. Then detectives remembered, just a day earlier, the same collective had found a body of a woman nearby. She was dumped in a ditch, and she was shot execution style too. Soon, the Sonora State Attorney General office confirmed the devastating connection. The woman and the 3 little girls were mother and daughter. All 4 showed extreme violence. They were identified as 28-year-old Margarita N., 11-year-old twins Meredith and Medellín, and 9-year-old Karla. At first, investigators feared the murders might have been linked to cartel conflict, possibly a crossfire between Los Chapitos and Los Salazar. But the placement of the bodies and other details pointed out to be something more personal. Authorities searched for Margarita's home and found some answers. After questioning her partner, Jesus Antonio, suspicion quickly turned to him. Officers had also discovered that Jesus Antonio was distributing drugs and was connected with local drug trafficking organizations. But what would drive him to kill Margarita and her daughters? According to prosecutors, Margarita had taken out a $300,000 life insurance policy just 3 months prior to her death. She had named Jesus Antonio as the beneficiary, hoping that he would take care of her daughters and the home in case something ever happened to her. But instead, he allegedly saw it as an opportunity. Witness says that he even joked about killing her for the money. I'm still not sure on how these came about, but according to different articles, there was him posting certain things about this case. Well, not the case, but the policy, and saying, oh yeah, I'm going to kill her for the money, or yeah, I'm going to keep all the money. Because let's face it, $300,000 pesos is a lot of money in Mexico. Right, so it's money that he would never, himself would acquire, ever. So for him to get it in a lump sum because he's the beneficiary of a life insurance policy made it seem like it was easy money for him. But yeah, there's no concrete evidence of him posting about it or saying anything about it. But based on different news outlets and news articles, they all kind of narrowed down that he would joke about murdering her for the money.
Qué tristeza y qué miedo saber que hay gente que es capaz de hacer esto por dinero.
Exactly. I mean, it's one thing is trying to, be trying to find ways to, make it work, work for a living. But he already had a criminal issue when it came to his job title and what he did. And then to joke around about killing her for her life insurance, it makes it even more more of a connection that he was the one to blame when it came to murdering them. Also within Margarita's home, they found 3 cell phones that belonged to the young girls, which seemed off. These cell phones were given to them by her father so they can call him in order to, to tell him if anything was wrong, if they needed to get picked up, or if they needed to get picked up after school. He had provided these phones for emergencies, and those phones were found inside the house and not with them during the time of the murder. The Sonora prosecutor office later pieced together the chilling timeline.
Wait, just to confirm, I don't know if I got confused.
Uh-huh.
They had, Jesús no es el papá de ellas, de las 3 niñas. Es
So
el que le dio el teléfono, that's the biological dad.
Yeah, the biological dad se llama Carlos Antonio, and he's the one that gave the girls the cell phone.
Right.
Jesús Antonio era la pareja de la
novio.
mamá. Yeah. Some people say that he was a stepfather. Some people say that he was just a romantic partner. Based on different articles, he mentions that he was just a casual relationship with the mom, that they didn't have a romantic relationship, that it was just them hooking up, all of that.
But for her to put him in
the life insurance, yeah, exactly. So so in articles he said that he was an occasional partner, but they weren't in a serious committed relationship. But I mean, they lived together. She added him to the insurance policy.
Beneficiary, yeah.
Yeah, and it just
That's not
seems
someone you're
off.
just messing around with.
Exactly. And I think they've been dating for like a little bit over a year. So yeah, it seemed off. The Sonora prosecutor office later pieced together the chilling timeline. On July 3rd, between 4 and 5 p.m., Jesus Antonio drove Margarita and her 3 girls to Bajín de Quino for a day by the beach. However, by 8 p.m., near the intersection with Highway 36, he pulled off the road, dragged Margarita out of the car, and shot her execution style and threw her into the ditch. He left her body behind and drove off, with the girl still in the back seat. About 7 kilometers north of where Margarita's body was dumped, he pulled over again. As the girls hugged each other in fear and terrified of what they just witnessed, Jesus Antonio shot all 3 at close range and left them for dead. Margarita's body was found on July 4th. Her daughters were discovered the following day. Tragically, no one had reported them missing. The girls' biological father assumed that they were simply on a trip with their mother. In an interview with Tiburón Sonora, Carlos Antonio said that he saw his daughters on June 30th. That was the last day he saw them, right when they left school on Friday. And that their mother was going to come over and pick them up from his home and take them with her to take them on a trip to the beach. However, he started to realize that something was wrong when the neighbor where he lived at told him that Margarita had been found dead. And something was wrong with the girls. He had no idea of what was going on or what happened. He didn't even realize that, that the girls were dead. He just had found out that Margarita had been murdered, and that's all. And then later on, the police came over to his home and told him that his daughters were murdered as well. Carlos told the Tribune Sonora that although he and Margarita had separated 4 years earlier, they co-parent peacefully. That they would occasionally talk, they would occasionally, go out as a family, they would spend time as a family, and they, were each other's support when raising the girls. So there was no animosity, there was no, bad blood between them. They just separated and went their own ways, but still, kept it peaceful for the girls, and held a very loving relationship when it came to raising the girls. He usually cared for the girls on weekends and during vacations, but that week the girls were scheduled to go to the beach with their mom. It was almost like a celebration because they had just graduated from their school, so it was like a treat that they were going to go to the beach. But in the days before the trip, his daughters had shown hesitation about going with their mother. They kept saying that they didn't want to go, that they wanted to stay home with him and their grandmother. When he asked why, they never gave him a clear reason on why they didn't want to leave with their mother. Still, there was no signs of trouble at Margarita's home, so he went ahead and let the girls go with their mother. Now, those quiet pleas to stay behind carry an unbearable weight to him. On Sunday, July 13th, the people of Hermosillo gathered in outrage and grief. Alongside the collectives and the victim's family, they marched in protest of the brutal murders. Their message was clear: violence against women and girls must stop. Many of those marching were women, adolescent mothers, and grandmothers demanding justice and protection. Banners read, quote, "Las y los niños no se tocan, no se violan, no se matan," and, quote, "Justicia, con los niños no." The march ended in Plaza Saragasso, with the collective's member calling to the government to recognize the crime as a femicide, not a cartel killing, and hand down the maximum sentence. Technically, this is because if they were considering it like a murder from the cartel, the sentencing for the murders would be reduced from like being in prison to like 70 years per murder to being in there for like a couple of like maybe 20 years per murder, because it would be considered a cartel killing instead of a femicide. Margarita did everything she could to build a better life for her daughters, even planning for their future in case she was no longer around. But what she couldn't have predicted was that the person she trusted most would turn that love into a leverage and that protection into betrayal. This case is a painful reminder that feminicides doesn't always come from strangers. It often comes within the home, wrapped in false security. We owe it to the victims like Margarita, Meredith, Medellín, and Karla to keep their stories alive and the name of the violence for what it is and demand justice. This is a tragic femicide of Margarita, Meredith, Medellín, and Karla.
La máxima sentencia, si es posible, la cadena perpetua. Porque no es justo, ya. Me dejaron solo. Con mi familia, mi mamá está destrozada.
No normalicemos el que maten niñas, niños. No. Los niños no. Con los niños no, ni con ninguna persona. No queremos más desaparecidos.
I was just trying hard not to like. When you were talking about how he did it, I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, and that's only
Poor little babies.
That's only what we know. Like, we don't know why he did it. Like, they gathered that confession from him, but he still claims that he didn't do it. And that's why people think that there's probably like a second person, but like, there's no evidence of a second person being there. So, it's a weird scenario, especially because he did it like in the desert. So like, there's no like, you know, video footage of anything happening, and it was late at night, so it makes it even harder to, you know, get any sort of evidence that way.
Yeah, y han de tener a lot of more evidence for them to point their finger at him that they're just not sharing yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's still really brand new, so they just don't know what to say or what like evidence to put on him. So hopefully they're thinking we do an update on it and like get more information on like regarding that, because
I was thinking, okay, if he did this por recibir el dinero, los 300,000 pesos, ¿por qué asesinar a las niñas?
Well, yeah,
Pero no las quiere cuidar.
Yeah,
right. He didn't want the responsibility of having 3 little girls.
No, also that, but also the fact that I also assume that it's the fact that he murdered their mother in front of them. Yeah. So like for them, for him, it's like, well, I have to kill them now because they are witnesses to what I did, and they must die because, you know, they're going to confess into something that they're going to say that I did something. So, you know, remove those 3 little girls. You removed like any sort of like evidence of, you know, them being at the house or whatever happened at the house. If there was any domestic violence in the house, or if there was any, you know, mistreatment from him to her.
Yeah, because they can say that against them. Yeah,
that makes sense. Especially because they were there for the week. Like they were there during the weekdays. So it makes sense.
A lo mejor vieron algo y así iban a hablar, and they were going to still point their finger at him.
Exactly.
That makes sense, because at the end of it, he wouldn't have taken the girls in, because the girls would have gone to the biological dad.
Yeah.
If something would have happened to the mom. Well, I would think, but I don't know si Margarita a lo mejor dijo que se las dejaran las 3 niñas a él.
I think, you know, based on like court-wise, they would go to their dad.
To their bio dad, yeah.
Unless they had like you know, Margarita and Jesus Antonio were married at some point. Then like he would have like some sort of like custody. Even like, I think there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of layers.
Oh,
But I think in the moment he was thinking more of a financial gain than like a long-term gain. So
yeah, and I have to eliminate any proof or just a las pobres niñas
yeah,
quitarle las
exactly.
vidas para que no le echaran la culpa a él.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I completely get it.
But still, it was like no matter what, they were still gonna point the fingers at him.
Yeah, because
Because
he's
it's
the
like
one.
4 of them, like
Yeah,
a todas juntas.
and it's they were murdered in a highway. They were murdered during the time that there wasn't any sort of like cartel violence in that area, I guess. So it's like it just seems out of place. And the bodies themselves weren't like, they were like, I guess you can say they were quote unquote like murdered recently. So they weren't they weren't there for a long time, which means that they were like, you know, out there for a long period of time to the point that they were decompensating or anything. Like they that it was not that everything didn't make sense.
Yeah. No, y pues el papá, él las acaba de ver y they were gonna be like, okay, who were they with? Where were they with? They were with mom. Okay, who's around mom? It was gonna go back to him.
Yeah, and it only happened in like a few days.
A few days, yeah. Like, so that was like, yo las miré. I mean, they weren't with me, so
yeah.
Who's the next person around them? Him.
Exactly. Like he had seen them for a few days prior to them leaving with the mom. And then, you know, they were living their regular life with their mom up until the point that they went to the beach. And then he didn't hear from them for like a couple of days. So it's like he could probably locate them between like from the moment they left his house to when they went to the beach. And then that's it, you know? So it's obvious that they were all going to point to him regardless. But it was just a matter of time of like when.
Right. When, yeah. And it's like a little puzzle, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I feel like si hubiera sido related to el cartel or anything like that, the bodies would have been together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like if it had anything related to that or like they would have
kept them together,
killed the little girls first in front of the mom.
Yeah, to get some sort of like money or any sort of like, I guess anything what they would have wanted. They would have killed them together, killed the girls first, and then like killed her last. But I feel the fact that she was killed first,
right,
and then he drove away and then killed them a little bit further, it makes it very odd. And that's why like it was hard for them to like identify how did these girls end up here, because they were 7 kilometers away from each other. And that's and the only way that they could like identify them was because they were, you know, they were near each other, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And they figured out that they might have been together, that they were like family. So.
Yeah, so it makes sense what you were saying, that he probably killed her first and the girls saw, they knew more, so he was like,
I gotta kill them too.
Yeah.
It's wild, I know.
Just the way he did it, it's so heartbreaking.
What breaks my heart the most is the way that they were found.
I know, protecting the little one.
They were like huddled up together, and even like the collective is like, that's like, we've never seen anything like that before.
El miedo.
Like, yeah, like
que sintieron en los últimos segundos.
Yeah, like you can tell that they were terrified, and their only thought wasn't like run or like find help or like anything. It was like, no, we're gonna stick together, we're gonna protect each other, and we're gonna be together. And it's heartbreaking. It really is, especially like when you see photos of them, like you can tell that they loved each other so much. Like they were like 3 little sisters, like that just loved being with each other, and like just loved their company and loved like their parents deeply. And it's really sad.
May this family find strength.
Exactly. But that was the case for this week. Again, our hearts go out to the Padilla family as well as Margarita's family, and anybody else who was affected by this case. We know that it's just tragic to like hear about cases that are so shocking and so so unbelievable that they could happen in society, but especially for something like money. But it sucks, and we do truly hope that they receive the justice that they deserve, and that Jesus Antonio gets the maximum sentence when it comes to trial. We won't know anything about their final trial until he officially goes to sentencing. So we will keep you guys updated on any information that we receive when it comes to his sentencing, how many years he gets. But yeah, we will keep you guys updated when it comes to that. And if you have any more details regarding this case or any of our other cases, please let us know. We have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and Facebook and YouTube. You can find us on most of the platforms at SVSM_podcast, or on Facebook at Segundo Macabro Podcast. On YouTube, you could just type in Segundo Macabro Podcast and we should be popping up. And yeah, you can find us there. We usually put up the video portion of this episode on there a couple of days after this audio portion goes live. So make sure to check that out, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. We would really appreciate it. If you have any details regarding this case, please leave them in the comments. We would love to read them and to love to learn about what you have to say about these cases. And yeah, if you have any thoughts, any opinions about it, that would be great also. If you want to listen to the rest of our 147 episodes, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you stream podcasts. Just type in Segundo Macabro Podcast and our catalog should be there. Also, if you go on YouTube, we have the audio version of these episodes on there as well, and the video portion of them as well. So you have other options on where to listen. And I think that's it when it comes to me talking about where you can find us, right?
Yes.
But yeah, we hope you enjoy your weekend and the week. I know it's been kind of hot and weird weathery, so we hope you have been enjoying yourself and enjoying the summer. And yeah, let us know what you have been doing this summer.
Yeah, July went by. I feel like it went by fast.
Yeah, it went by really fast. Like every day, I'm like, how is it already Friday?
Right, it's going by fast. I'm like, and it's a long month.
Yeah, it's a long month, and it's passing like fast, like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you have been doing this July. If you've been watching any movies, if you've been reading any books, if you've been going to the beach, to the pool, we want to know. Let us know. Yeah, you have any plans this weekend?
I was gonna tell you. Dexter, the new one.
Have you seen it?
I'm watching. It's so good.
Yeah,
so far, it's good.
I've heard that the new season is really good. I still have to get through the post Dexter season thing. Was it the bloodline or something?
Yeah.
I need to get through that one first before I go to the new one. But
yeah, and then you need to watch the
pre Dexter
with the kids, with the young adults. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that both of them.
That one's really good.
So I have a lot of watching to do.
You have a lot. Yes, this one's really good. I'm like, yeah, the nostalgia behind it.
I keep seeing like people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch it.
I'm like, they better not end it in a bad way.
Oh no,
that already happened once.
I think they've learned from that one season that they're like, oh no. We have to change that.
But these fans are hardcore, so
they are.
We gotta make them happy.
Exactly. I've been seeing everybody talk about Dexter on my timeline, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
It's really good. You need to catch up because it's good.
I've heard. But yeah, there's the new Happy Gilmore movie coming out on Netflix tomorrow. Pedro Pascal's Fantastic Four is coming out, so I'm excited to go to the movies for that.
Who? I'm kidding.
Pedro Pascal. And my boyfriend Joseph Quinn. So, and then after that, what else is happening this week? Me and Aswani are going to Cinespia. We're gonna go see the Addams Family.
Yes.
And then you are going out of town, right?
Yes, I'm going to Joshua Tree.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So it's going to be a busy weekend for us on this side of town. But yeah, let us know what you're doing. We'd love to hear from you. We would love to connect with you guys. So let us know. What have you been up to? What have you been reading? What music are you listening to? Are you going to go to any concerts? What are you excited about? We really want to know.
I went to the Katy Perry concert.
Yeah, Lupita went to.
That was so good.
Yeah, she went to Katy Perry. She dressed up as the, what is it?
The hot and cold.
Hot and cold video, right? When she was dressed up as a bride.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. And I was like, okay, girl, pop off. And then you have what? The Jonas Brothers coming soon?
That's in September.
Okay.
Next month I have another one.
She doesn't want to say that one, but but yeah, let us know what you've been up to, what you have going on, and let's talk about it. We want to have a conversation with you guys, so let us know. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, see you guys next week.
Yeah. Also, if you have any suggestions on podcast episodes, please let us know. DM us something.
Yes.
We would love to cover cases that you guys would want to hear. But until then, see you guys next week.
See you next week. Adios.
Bye. Stay spooky.
I know you guys can't see us, but we're just waving at the camera.
And bye.
Bye.